Well, it's a beautiful fall day in Miller Beach, Indiana, and we are about to take a road trip to visit Galena, Illinois. And we have three objectives: to visit our relatives Sue and Kent Henderson, to see the beautiful fall colors along the way, and to visit a pottery show that is going on. It's called 20 Dirty Hands, and Kent is one of the potters in the show. I think we'll focus on Kent's pottery and his beautiful sculptures. We're all packed now, and we're ready for our trip to Galena. Let's take a road trip.
Kent Henderson has been making pottery since moving to Galena in 1984. In 1991 he bought the house at 704 Dewey, painted an American flag on the garage and opened Galena Clayworks. In his studio you'll find stunning glazed plates, bowls and mugs as well as distinctive sculptures. Hi, I'm Kent Henderson. I create functional wares and sculptural forms in my Galena studio. My functional ware is all high-fired and food and dishwasher safe. I also have decorative and whimsical sculptures and raku vessels and vases. All of my glazes are Earth's raw materials, handmade and applied to each individual piece of pottery, which is then fired to 2380 degrees Fahrenheit. This high fire process creates unique colors and continuity, making each piece one of a kind. I view clay as improvisational art, my hands being the moment. Through the firing, the moment becomes solidified to remember and behold, or thrown to the ground to be shattered into shards. Kent throws the clay on the bat so it sticks. Next he works the clay by coning it up and down several times. It centers only when both hands are in a fixed and steady position.
It is fascinating watching you work.
Yeah, sometimes big things are a little more interesting. Little things are fine too.
Next, Kent opens a hole in the center, then pulls the walls open. He works to make the floor of the cup, pushing to create a flat bottom, using a flat wooden tool. Now is the time to pull up the wall. He slows the wheel, as pulling the wall is a delicate balance of wheel speed as well as how fast your hands pull up the wall. Here he squeezes the clay while pulling to thin the walls. He works the lip till the thickness is right and uses a sponge to mop up excess water. He repeats this process and we see the bowl forming as the walls get thinner. Lastly, Kent uses a wooden tool to create the foot of the bowl. Here he runs a wire to cut the bowl off the bat, and leaves the bowl to dry and firm up to a leathery state. In a few hours he'll fire the bowls in his large gas-fired kiln outside his studio.
like 12 or 14 raku pieces that I will then bisque fire tomorrow in that electric kiln, and then I raku fire on Saturday from like 1 till like 4. So, and that process is a rapid firing process. You heat up, and it's like a copper glaze. You heat it up in 40 minutes, pull it out with a set of tongs, and then throw it into a bucket of sawdust where it immediately cools, and then you can move it to a bucket of water in about 15 minutes. So if there's people here for the entire 45 minutes, they can watch the beginning, the middle, and the end of the process.
Kent has been heating his brick kiln for several hours and is now monitoring the progress by looking through the small window in the door. He will bisque fire the bowls at a cone 4 temperature overnight. In the morning, when the kiln cools to about 150 degrees Fahrenheit, these bisque-fired bowls will be used for Kent's raku demonstration at the pottery show. It's the morning of the first day of the pottery tour, and Kent has taken his bisque-fired bowls out of his kiln for his raku demonstration. He coats his bowls with a metallic glaze. The glaze reacts with the heat to create unpredictable finishes such as crackle textures, swirls, and iridescent sheens. Depending on the metals in the glaze, the colors can shift from red to blue to green. Once the bowls are glazed and dry, he is ready to load them into the raku kiln. Kent uses a kiln made from a metal drum and heated with a gas venturi burner inserted at the bottom of the kiln. The glaze reaches the melting point, about 1850 degrees centigrade, or cone 6. He takes the molten bowl from the kiln with tongs and puts it in a vessel containing sawdust, newspaper, straw, or anything combustible. The combustibles ignite immediately, and once he closes the lid, a process called reduction is created, which is basically the absence of oxygen. This is what creates the magic of raku. The smoke pulls the oxygen from the glaze and leaves behind a beautiful metallic luster and spontaneous flame patterns. Sometimes you get a rainbow shimmer, sometimes a deep copper blush, or sometimes a ghostly halo where the flame once danced on the piece inside the kiln. Whatever comes out, no two pieces are ever the same. It's always a surprise. Kent will repeat his raku demonstration several times during the show for his pottery fans.